Hey everyone, this is Nathan here from NQ Productions, and in today's video, I'm reviewing yet another video game movie. I talked about the first Mario movie and the first FNAF movie back in 2023, then the second FNAF movie last year, and now here we are in 2026, talking about the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which released a few weeks ago. Now, before we get started, a few quick disclaimers. Number 1, this review will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, you've been warned. Number 2, any movie footage in this review will be heavily edited because I would like this video to stay up and not get nuked by a copyright claim. And number 3, this review is all just my personal opinion on the movie, so feel free to leave your thoughts on the film in the comments below. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's get into it. But before I share my thoughts on the Galaxy movie, I want to quickly revisit my thoughts on the first Mario movie, because I rewatched it before seeing the sequel, and honestly, I still think it's solid. It's not amazing, but it's a fun time. The animation and music are great, the action is entertaining, the references feel like they come from a place of passion rather than feeling cynical, and the humor works more often than not. But the biggest issue is the pacing. The movie at some points moves way too fast, which makes the story and characters not have enough time to fully develop. At the end of the day though, I still like the 2023 movie, and I'd probably give the Super Mario Bros. Movie a 6.5 out of 10 after rewatching it. But how about the Super Mario Galaxy movie? How does that movie compare to the first one? Well, give me 1 second. I have to go watch the movie in theaters with my brother.
2 hours later.
I don't know what the hell I just saw. The Super Mario Galaxy movie is easily one of the most entertaining, batshit off-the-rails movies I've ever seen. It is simultaneously both better and worse than the first movie, and I will tell you why. Starting off with the story. I'm just going to get straight to the point. This movie's plot feels like two different movies put together. The first half of the movie is actually pretty good. The pacing for the most part isn't that bad, and I really liked most of the scenes in the first 2 acts. The opening with Rosalina recapping the events of the first movie in her storybook is a good way to start the film. The montage with Yoshi in Brooklyn was a highlight for me, as well as the scene where Bowser Jr. attacks Peach's castle, which is just pulled straight from the first Mario Galaxy game. One thing that's also really good about the first half of the Mario Galaxy movie are the character moments. Stuff like Bowser and Bowser Jr. bonding is very cute to see, Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi have good chemistry, and Peach and Toad are fun to see together. For the first 50 minutes, the movie is actually really solid in my opinion. Then Peach and Toad meet Fox McCloud at the Gateway Galaxy. No, that is not a joke. And this is when the movie starts to get messy. I'm not saying that Fox is a bad inclusion, he's actually a really fun character. But once he's introduced, the pacing is very fast as it quickly goes from one scene to the next without feeling cohesive. On top of that, scenes like the T-Rex scene could have been cut from the movie entirely without the story changing that much. Then you have the final act where the Lumas, Fox, and the rest of the cast head to Planet Bowser, and this is where it's all action. Not a lot of character moments like the first half, just all action and chaos, which, don't get me wrong, it is very fun to watch, but it's all over the place. In the climax, Bowser does get defeated via the classic bridge death, which is actually something I predicted before seeing the movie, which was cool to see, but then the ending feels rushed where Peach saves Rosalina and then they touch hands using their cosmic powers or whatever to save the world, everything turns green and pretty, and that's it. After the castle is rebuilt, you have to watch the mid-credits scene to see what happens to Bowser and Bowser Jr. afterwards, and that shouldn't be the case. The movie did have the potential to have a good and well-constructed final act with all of these over-ambitious ideas, it just needed more time to flesh it all out and make sense as a movie. The second half objectively isn't great, and honestly, if the movie was titled The Super Mario Bros. Movie 2, I think people would be far less harsh towards it. Overall, the story is a bit of a mess, but it's a very entertaining mess. Now, as for the characters, I have mixed feelings on them. Let's start off with Mario and Luigi. One of the biggest issues with the first Mario movie was that Luigi was sidelined for most of the film. But thankfully, in the sequel, Luigi has a lot more screen time, and he's really funny, easily one of the best characters in the movie in my opinion. Then we have Mario, who has added depth with him wanting to confess his true feelings towards Peach, despite being embarrassed by it, and we get to see how easily frustrated he can get. Peach is still the same as she was in the first movie, and the backstory they give her is interesting, with her being Rosalina's sister. Not bad, just different. And speaking of Rosalina, yeah, she's unfortunately one of those characters that doesn't get a lot of screen time. On one hand, it is disappointing to see Rosalina not have a lot of screen time in the Mario Galaxy movie, but on the other hand, I didn't despise the role she had in the story, being the damsel in distress, and her relationship with her Lumas was cute. Anyways, Toad in the movie is just kinda there, and he barely has a character arc. He meets up with Mario and Luigi and dislikes Yoshi stealing his spotlight, but then that arc disappears towards the end of the movie and he doesn't have that much to do other than tag along with Peach and have some funny moments every now and then. Oh, and I guess we can talk about Yoshi now since I just mentioned him. And yeah, he's just the cute animal sidekick for this movie. That's honestly all he needed to be. And he was really entertaining, super adorable, and really funny. Now for the rest of the cast, I think Fox McCloud is a fun addition to the story, even though he did not need to be in there at all. Other characters like War and Honey Queen only show up for a handful of minutes, so I don't have a whole lot to say on them. And then Bowser and Bowser Jr. I thought were handled really well. The scene where Bowser explains their plan with the puppet scene is really cute and gives the movie some heart, and they're both fun and threatening when they need to be. The two of them were honestly my favorite characters in the movie. And of course Yoshi. Speaking of Yoshi, him and all of the other characters are super expressive and the animation is absolutely stunning, just like last time. It's very colorful and I love the way all the galaxies look, and the action is highly engaging, accompanied by an amazing score by Brian Tyler with lots of callbacks to the Mario franchise, and there's thankfully less licensed songs. Speaking of callbacks, oh my god, there are so many references. We get characters from the first movie, like the dog Francis in the Brooklyn scene, Donkey Kong, Peaches, and then as for the references to other Mario games and Nintendo franchises, I could go on and on with what I saw. But I won't, so here's a mini montage instead. Now, the last thing I want to talk about before we wrap things up is the humor and voice acting. The comedy was actually pretty solid in my opinion. I laughed at the jokes a lot more in this movie than I did with the first one. With some of the highlights being Yoshi running away from the police in New York, which made me think of the fucking tax fraud meme, Bowser making out with Mario.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
The gag with Rob being super slow is the funniest thing ever, and Luigi talking about the destroyed castle at the end.
Oh, well, the castle, it died.
And then the voice acting was okay, with the cast ranging from serviceable to really good. The biggest surprises to me were Glenn Powell as Fox, who ended up doing a really good job with making him sound super cocky and fun. Benny Safdie was actually a great choice for Bowser Jr., which I wasn't expecting. And then Donald Glover pulls off an amazing Yoshi voice. And it's just Yoshi sounds as well, no actual words, which is honestly really impressive. I'm so glad they did my boy so well. I just wish everything else was done well. The Super Mario Galaxy movie is just such a hard movie for me to judge. On one hand, the movie has stellar animation, engaging action, a bit of heart and emotion, fun character dynamics, funny gags, and lots of callbacks via the plethora of references and the fantastic score. But, on the other hand, the messy and inconsistent quality of the story, the uneven pacing, some underutilized characters, and a rushed ending do hold the movie back from being amazing. Even with its issues, I did have fun watching this movie, and sometimes that's all a movie needs to be, a fun distraction. And because of that, I'm giving the Super Mario Galaxy movie a 6.5 out of 10, which is the same score I gave the first movie, just for completely different reasons. It's enjoyable, especially if you're a Mario fan like myself, but I still feel like these movies haven't fully reached their potential yet. But that's alright. These are still probably going to be movies I'm going to rewatch time and time again just because it's Mario. Oh, and one more thing before I sign off. Anyone out there that's arguing with others in regards to the low critic scores, just why? There doesn't need to be this heated discussion on social media over this topic, and all it should be is this. Watch the movie and form your own opinion. And if other people have different opinions compared to yours, that's totally fine as long as they respect you and others around you. It's as simple as that, okay? Welp, there you have it. That was my review on the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell. That way you don't miss any new content from me. And with all of that said, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!